Hi there, and welcome to Culturally Sound. I'm here with Dharmendra Singh, CEO of MergerWare, and who is a global leader in M&A technology solutions with a strong background in both business and technology. Really interesting space. How did you get started in this? Let's talk about um, your origin story and how you ended up here, Mr. Singh.
Sure, sure. So thanks for inviting me for your podcast. And I'll give a very short introduction about myself, and then I will go and tell you how we build MergerWare. So
Excellent.
primarily, I was a deal maker. I used to work for a French company for several years, more than decades. And while I was doing M&A, I realized that company is of course doing several deals, several acquisitions, but really the value creation focus was not that great. The idea was everything is there, but then you are acquiring company and your M&A process are not so robust, right? Or maybe it is there, but it's not being really followed. So that's how I started my journey. So earlier I used to work for the same company, but I used to, lead their R&D operations, building products, working on different solution to customer. And then I was at INSEAD. It's a French school. I was doing my MBA program. And
Okay.
during that time, we used to study about how, company fails to integrate after, they go for acquisition.
Right.
From there I started, and then slowly I was doing a couple of projects with helping people to see how we can integrate better, how we can really focus on value creation. And then I changed my role to part of M&A team. So I started with transaction and then integration team. So I was part of M&A post-deal integration. So post-deal means once deal is signed and closed, you have to integrate into the business. So your process, your people, your all department have to work together. So that's how my journey has started, within that French company. And I was part of, almost all the, supporting almost all the team around the world. Wherever there is a M&A deal is happening, I have to make sure that all the process are being followed, people are following the M&A playbook, setting the process, the team, the communication part. And then I realized that we have built a very good process, but the difficult part is how to make sure this process are being followed by, each M&A deal company is doing, right?
Of course.
That was the big challenge for me to how this process, because this process are we build, but they are still very manual. So how to make sure this process we oversee and make sure that these processes are very consistent across all the deals.
Mm.
Also, we want to make sure that value creation is focused, but how to make sure we are really focused on delivering the value. So that's how my idea came that why don't we build an integrated solution instead of, company are using, 10 different technology platform to manage their M&A activity, right?
Okay.
So integrating things together is the big challenge because,
Mhm.
most of the time M&A deal happens, they are cross-border, people are working on the same, opportunities, but they don't know each other, right? They might have their process in very local to their country.
Mhm.
So my goal was to see how we can have an integrated platform. It's a kind of software solution where we embed your M&A know-how plus your process plus
Mhm.
your reporting plus your dashboarding. Like everybody should have a similar kind of information. It's more
Right.
collaborative approach. So that was the reason for me to, after spending, more than 2 decades, I
Mhm.
decided that, okay, now I understand what challenges we are facing because I was at the other side of the table, right, doing M&A deal. And
Right.
then I know that this is a challenge. Somebody have to solve and make sure that we go and educate because awareness about digital M&A was very, very poor when I really, while I was doing M&A deal, right? So I came back, we started MergerWare. The vision was very simple that how we can make an end-to-end deal management software where people can use our process, whatever know-how I have learned while
Mhm.
working on several deals, how we can apply this knowledge and give team so that this platform become one point solution, integrated solution, single solution for the whole company. And that's
Right.
how MergerWare was born. And today we are one of the leading platform in the world and we work with customers around the world where we are helping them in their integration journey. That is our main focus, but of course, it's into integration platform. And so far, it's very good journey.
So far, so good. So, and I'd like to return to this because I think there's an interesting perspective of a bit of a paradox where
Mhm.
you know, everything is being acquired and becoming this large mass conglomerate, and there's this other
Mhm.
perspective that you know, AI and how it's leveling of the playing field, if it's
Mhm.
available to the masses, sort of breaks that all down and creates this opportunity for all of these micro markets to be developed and improved and kind of. So I'd like to get your take on
Mhm.
that in a moment. What what led you, or you know, let's go back a bit.
Mhm.
Childhood, what allowed you or gave you the confidence to be a leader in a space that you had worked with for so long, but never really took that step into leadership and building something of your own? Because that takes sort of a bit of a unique personality to say, you know what? No,
Yeah.
I can make a difference. I have an idea. I have a concept that is unique from everyone else's, or I can do it better. What got you there?
So I will tell you what I
Please.
really felt, because while this problem, I came to know that okay, there is opportunity. I used to go and speak in many M&A conference, meet different my colleagues working in different large organization. They also narrated the similar kind of a story, similar kind of challenges. So one is I know that this is a problem because I was already part of the problem,
Hmm.
and the second part is I knew the technology because I had background in technology and
Hmm.
then M&A. So I
Hmm.
had both flavor of problem and what could be the easiest solution. So that was one of the driver. The second driver was because I already spent 2 decades in the working large organization
Yep.
where things are more settled. I have already gained so much of experience,
Hmm.
and for me it was natural choice to look at and start something like this because this become very unique, comes with my experience because I'm not doing something different. I'm just extending my know-how, whatever I learned last 20 years. I'm just extending the journey. So for me, if you look at this is not something, uh, you know, I could have done better than this.
Hmm.
What I'm doing is that is the best I can do because I have seen the problem. I know the technologies. I know that there is a solution, and this is the right solution we are building, and this
Hmm.
is what is future. So if you look at while I was working in M&A team, M&A software awareness itself was very poor. Now, if Gartner, you go to talk to Gartner, they know, oh, there is a category. This is
Yes.
another segment. So in fact, we build a new segment in the market, right? And now everybody know M&A software is also a category. Many of the platform, many of the company, many of analysts, they keep reach out to us, just asking about, you know, what you do, how this, business was formed, what is this category, who are your key customers. So there is lots of awareness now.
Yeah.
So for me, it was natural choice. Of course, it was not a plan for me, from the beginning that I have to start something my own or something because even the big company where I work, it was always it's a kind of started from ground up and then build a bigger teams. So for me, even while I was working for large company, I was doing similar kind of role where we are
Mhm.
starting with very small activity and making it quite large and making sure that these are, that it itself become one of the part of the company. So
So
for me, yeah,
yeah, so it was more of a natural evolution rather
yeah,
than, you know,
exactly,
something internally that was driving you to create something. It was just it was second nature. You've already been doing it for so long. You felt
right,
you could add to the value of what was being created and do it a little bit better, which is, you know,
right,
it's one or the other, right? And
yeah.
from those that lead, how how do you, or what tools did you use to invoke that vision and then share it with the people that are following you today? What did that look like?
So when this idea came to me, I was in Boston,
Okay.
sitting with my colleagues, trying to figure out, because when you are in this problem, then you are always trying to find a reason, how to get it solved,
Mm-hmm.
how to come out from this problem. So while
Mm-hmm.
I was discussing this, we always have this idea that if you digitize, lots of your pain points, what we have will go off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the driver, that when we started discussing with many people,
Yeah.
that this is something I am trying to do. Many people said this is the best way to do it, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is the best thing to do, and this is the future. So this became kind of a one or and the second driver for me to really go ahead and think that okay, let's do it. And then also what I did, I started meeting more and more people, right? Trying to learn from other experience.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I have that was good, but that was not enough for me to know exactly. I really spent a lot of time meeting people, trying to interview them, ask them more questions that how they do, share my challenges. What I used to get while doing M&A deal execution, getting. So I think those way by going and meeting different people, interviewing them, asking them questions, sometimes sharing my expertise and say that how I solve and what work. It was beneficial for both, but for me, it gave me a opportunity to meet different leaders, understand their problem, and then supervise my vision that whatever I am going to lead, how I can make it better. So once I decided that I have to get it done, I have to do this. Nobody could be better than me to do this because I come from this experience. I come
Right.
from this background. So for
Yes.
me, that was natural that I should start. But just to broaden my question, the view, understanding more problems from different people working in different, maybe some private equity guy, some are corporate development guy. I think that gave me a solid reason for me to really go and scale, go and build a platform, bring to the market. And in fact, lots of my customers were those friends
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
whom I interacted at the very beginning.
So you were just able to naturally create that
Yeah,
community around you and
right.
and
Exactly. Exactly.
naturally progress and sort of build something.
Mhm.
How like how did you end up in so mergers and acquisitions, right? And M&A, just
Mhm.
just for anyone who's listening
Mhm.
that wasn't clear on that. Um,
Mhm.
that isn't, that isn't something that you grow up aspiring to sort of jump into. What
Yeah.
what got you into this space initially?
So your question is more on how I started.
Well, yeah, like how did you end up in the mergers and acquisitions space in
Okay.
order to
Okay.
have this opportunity to
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
create this technology?
Right. Right. So this is very interesting story because I used to work for the same company, and I was leading there one of the R&D center and division
Mhm.
where I was building product. I was working with customer solutioning part I was doing, and
Okay.
then I was doing a program at INSEAD where I was in France.
Okay.
And this is a management course where I was, one of the professor who was teaching M&A, especially focus on post-merger integration.
Okay.
And he was explaining about what challenges we used to have, how we can solve. I was doing some of the case studies. And then I realized that even the company where I work, they are very, acquisitive. They keep acquiring company. So I
Okay.
should surely figure out and find out what they are doing, how they are doing integration, because when you are not part of the team,
Yes.
even you get some. So I used to get lots of email that this company have done this acquisition, this is the size of deal, but those are the mails which either we delete it or we don't read also, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that time I never had any interest. But while I went to my the classroom, and when
Hmm.
professor started teaching, my interest was more to know how my company is doing. And then I started going and looking at inside the company, interacting with people who are more closer to business,
Right.
more closer to M&A. And then I started talking to them that, hey, look, I am doing something here. I am doing this type of case studies. but
Mhm.
I see the opportunity that I can support M&A team here. So that's how I went to into M&A. I
Right.
started helping my team, looking at some of the best practices, how they are doing, and then slowly that led me to transition to M&A. So
So
yeah,
you went to this coursework in France, right? And then
yeah.
how did you end up in Boston?
Yeah, so Boston we used to go because we used to have our office in Boston.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you've the curiosity around the business growth really is what led you into the M&A world.
Right,
And then recognizing the issues and the challenges of the integration post acquisition led
right,
led to MergerWare. So to
right,
make that transition a little more seamless. What
right.
give me a day in the life of or a customer journey for what it would look like for someone to introduce themselves to MergerWare, use it as a solution, and then what it looks like on the other side. What does that look like?
So basically, when customer come to us, right,
Hmm.
they come with a typical problem. Either they are not able to do integration, or they have just closed a deal and they are trying to do integration. They don't have very robust process, or they have process but they don't have a big team,
Okay.
right? So they come to us. Then we try to understand what really their focus is. If they are thinking about integration, what is the integration objective? What is the static intent? What they want to achieve, right? What
Right.
is the goal they have to achieve? What team they have, right? And once we have this information, then our goal is first to guide them that what is the best way to go ahead. Mergerware is just enabler, right? Mergerware is not giving you magic to do M&A. It will give you a tool where
Yes.
you can do your job, right?
Right.
It is just assisting to do your job. It's not
Mhm.
saying that if you buy a company, then you are able to do integration. Integration is only guaranteed when integration team really delivers the work what they are supposed to do, right?
Okay.
And tool is just making sure their administrative tasks what they do in M&A, that is getting sorted. We have some intelligence built within the platform that help you to reduce your time. So where you spend 5 days, you can do in few hours, right? So we go and tell customer that how uh, they can start integration, how our platform is going to give a value add,
Mhm.
and if it is in sync, right? We understand this customer really focus on integration, for example. Then
Right.
we work with them, we give our best practices, we give them suggestion that what are the best practices they should use, how they should build their communication strategy, how they should build their entire integration management office, because we
Mhm.
are M&A experts, right? So first goal is give them a process and know-how and what they want to achieve and how they can achieve. And
Mhm.
platform we give embedded with all the know-how so that they can start, we onboard their team, they start working from day one, and we assist them till they are completing the integration. So this is the way currently all the interaction happens with customer. Most of customers who come to us, of course, could that they have at least in their mind that these are the pain area. This is something in M&A life cycle they have problem.
Mhm.
Many time, company have very good process, but they don't have team to do integration. Sometimes they have very good team, but still they are struggling to build the process,
Okay.
right? So we
Yeah.
are helping them in their entire journey.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
so what what challenges do you typically deal with when it comes to client comes inbound, right? And they're working through the process with you. Does that lead to the iterative process of improving the product and that customer feedback? What does that look like in the growth of MergerWare?
So of course, every time you work with customer, you learn more because sometimes they might be doing things which are much better, right?
Hmm.
The type of deal, the market segment they are operating, the type of deal they are doing, right? This all are also learning. So it's not only we are helping customer, even we get lots of know-how from customer, and that way we also improve those in within our platform. So like M&A process, MergerWare have defined M&A process within the platform. So if you buy MergerWare, you get all this process, how to do M&A.
Mhm.
Now, while we work with customer for longer duration, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, sometime. Now, what happens this 4 year journey? We also understand the customer business. We know exactly what customer is doing, what they are trying to achieve, what is their roadmap they have, and then we align our strategy accordingly. Right? Many customer come, they might have very specific feature which is very specific to particular customer.
Mhm.
So what we do in that case, since once we are part of that customer,
Mhm.
we always treat ourselves as an extended team member for them, right? Our job is to make sure they are successful, and if they are successful, then only our job is done, right? So
Right.
basically, we are trying to give them an entire ecosystem on the process side. We also learn quickly if they need something, how fast we can deliver and support in their business. So that it's a two-way.
Of
We
course.
also get to learn a lot of things from customer, right? While I was working in M&A team, I was doing only one type of deal.
Right.
Now I work with customer across different market segments. So I have variety of information now, much better than earlier.
Hmm. Hmm. Well,
So now I've,
cool, right?
yeah, yeah.
Continue that educational journey. So, what does what does tomorrow look like for MergerWare? So you're meeting with your clients, you're implementing new strategies, new ideas, new concepts into the platform. What's exciting for you for tomorrow? What have you got on the horizon?
So, so every day for me, that is a big difference when you are an entrepreneur, right? Every day you have, new thing.
Hmm.
I think every day morning when I get up and check my emails, I'll have two or three things which are very new.
Mm.
Either a new customer want to talk, or somebody want to do podcast, or somebody is saying that I have read something and I want to get your help. So every day there is a new thing to do. So how much your calendar is full for the day, always there is two or three things will pop up where you have to adjust between schedule.
Hmm.
So our morning starts with like long list, our laundry list, the pending things to do, and then we have to talk to customers, right? So as a CEO, my first job is to talk more and more people, more
Hmm.
customers, implies, what is going on, what customer might have similar kind of problem which other customer also have, right?
Hmm.
So how to give them a best practices, right? So every day is a new day for me, right? Today, if I sleep, I go to bed, then my job is done today. But early morning when I get up, I have long list I have to finish.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah,
What keeps you excited about um what is coming at MergerWare? Like what's the exciting new feature, or
yeah,
within your vertical, what's the thing that you're looking to grab
right.
onto to create and iterate around? What does that look like?
Right. So there are several things like we are looking at. So our platform is M&A end-to-end deal management platform, right?
Yes.
Still, companies are, there are many companies who are still not up to the level where they use software, right? There are multiple reasons to that. One reason is awareness about M&A digitization is very poor.
Okay.
So that is one my daily job to see how we educate the market, how
Mhm.
let customer know there is a better way to do M&A,
Okay.
right? So that is one. The second thing, where we are doing is it's always our process to see how customers can get maximum benefit, reduce their time on deal execution, reduce their time in due diligence and integration. So for
Right.
that, we are trying to see how we can assist them. So we are already doing lots of things in AI and
Mhm.
machine learning. We are trying to add those ability in different M&A life cycle. So company can really, deal makers can really use them
Mhm.
as a, especially to ease their job, right? AI is going to reduce your some of the effort, what you are spending,
Mhm.
reduce your time, what you take to review your documents, setting up your playbook. So this time can be reduced by integrating AI solution and machine learning. So that we are building. Also, we are trying to see how we can, go to customer faster. What is the way we do it? How to educate them faster? If customers start using our solution, they have, sometimes customers, they have 300 people who are going to use. So we have to make sure that everybody is trained, right? Even platform is very simple. The what happens? It's a human, every human. If you
Yes.
have to learn something new, it's very difficult, right?
Right.
But once you start learning and start playing with the tool, then you know that within a week you know everything.
Mhm.
So those type of work we are doing a lot with customers. Even potential customer who come to us, we tell them exactly that you don't have to worry about learning the platform. Most of things, backend job, we will set things up for you. You have to do your daily job. And whenever you need your support, we are there, part of their extended team.
Mhm.
So dividing the time between teams, making sure that, each customers are important for us, right? Because when we work with 20 customers, then all 20 are part of your family, right? You have to support them on daily basis. So we put lots of strategy and planning, and this is what we are trying to improve. This is what we are learning from customer, you know, because sometimes their challenge is also our challenge. So
Right.
we also put our strategy and plan to see that if my customer have some specific problem, nothing to do with MergerWare, but they have their own problem, and they come to us that we are getting into this problem. Do you some have? Can you give some best practices? How we
Mhm.
to resolve? So those type of things we are doing a lot now, where we are bringing our domain expertise, and we are helping those customers to speed up their execution time, so
Mhm.
that they can be faster in deal closing, faster in their due diligence and integration journey.
Right. Right. Is there a system or a process that you've been trying to develop that you've been struggling with, or is there one that where do your challenges typically arise within? It sounds like you've got a pretty robust iteration process, either
Yeah.
from teams or clients or internally, taking that information in, ingesting it, working through it, and then coming up with solutions and applying it. What's what are the lessons that you find yourself continuing to have to learn, or where are your challenges presenting themselves?
So if you look at challenges, like there are many challenges, finding the right talent around the world, right?
Mm,
Because sometimes we have customer and we don't have our local team there,
right.
right? Now customer, I can sit anywhere in the world, right? I can sit in US and support Asian customer. I can sit in Asia, I can support American customers. But sometimes for customers, if you are closer to them, they are very confident.
Hmm.
So we are trying to set up local team in each country. We already have a team, but we are trying to see how we can do it. Sometime, like country like Japan, you need somebody who can locally understand the language and support customers.
Hmm.
So those type of challenges are there. We are trying to solve. We are trying to hire local people there, train them, because it's not just hiring. So one
Right.
is hiring the right people, then training them, bringing them up to speed, making them closer to customers so they can work on daily basis. Because that be our so that is one challenge. Another challenge is how to educate customer faster.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is another challenge we have, because many times if the customer who comes with the real problem, they know that this is a problem they are trying to solve. That is pretty straightforward. But there are many times, maybe from customer side, somebody is coming who is very junior. He might not know exactly what challenge company, customer itself has.
Yes.
So that time we find it very difficult, because the guy comes, he don't have enough information to provide. Then
Mhm.
he will ask some questions. What you can do? Can we then we answer everything, but we don't know whether this message is going to the right person,
Right.
right? So that is another challenge we face. And I think otherwise, technology wise, we don't have any challenge. Anything customer need, we can do faster.
Right.
So when they start using the software, and in between, after a year, they realize that okay, there are something to be built. We have a separate team who can build those fast. right?
Gotcha.
So that way we are good. But of course, when we work with customer, every time there will be some challenge due to customer, due to us, due to team, due to people, right? Due
That's
to market, market
that,
conditions.
right. Where the rubber hits the road for sure. And so when you'd mentioned onboarding team members in areas where you're looking to either enter the market or explore the market. What does that type of onboarding process look like? Because we know that the first 90 days is the most critical to ensuring that team members um, really feels like they belong within the culture, the
Right.
community, the company.
Yeah.
How do you nurture that first 90 days? What does your onboarding process look like?
Yeah. So onboarding process, we have kept in three phases. The
Interesting.
first phase is giving them a know-how on why we have formed this company. What
Hmm.
is the vision? What do we want to do? Because M&A is very niche, right?
Yes.
The people who join many times they have heard first time,
Hmm.
so they don't understand. And also, this culture is very different in different country. But
Hmm.
this is the first reaction that people don't know what the business is. Right?
Hmm.
So first is let them know exactly what our business is, why this is so critical, why it's so important business, how you are so niche company, right? So that is the whole exercise first. Then what platform does, how we are supporting customer. Then we also add them in all the customer meetings just to listen what customers are doing. Try to make sure that he is aware of the platform, the
Hmm.
people, what we are trying to do, what are the roadmaps we have, so that he's fully engaged. He knows because if you are a small company, that everyone is important,
Yes.
and that will only and unless until they have a full authority to deliver, you know so this initial exercise we do is lots of hand holding at the beginning to make sure he is aligned, he know why he had joined. And we don't hire unless until we are sure that person is really somebody who is not just hopping a job,
Yes.
but he's trying to join a company where, because working a company like MergerWare is, you have to be part of building the product, building the company, building customers, right?
Hmm.
More and
Hmm.
more customer, enhancing your knowledge, because many people we had, they don't come for solid M&A expertise. Not everyone.
Right.
So they have to learn product, they have to know the market, they have to know customer, they have to know M&A a bit, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So this entire thing, if you look at, there are 4 5 different subjects.
Hmm.
Slowly they have to. So these 3 months goes on just grooming them, letting them know. There will be a different team who do induction, explain them what they are doing, how they are doing. Then we have a weekly meeting where every employee joins, and then we discuss about each team, what they are doing, what challenges they have, what they want to achieve. So we do this. I think this works well, and more moreover, after 3 or 4 months,
Hmm.
when the person have understood, then he can go to the customer call, he can talk, he can do demonstration.
Right. Right.
When we know that, yeah, he have understood the business, because this is learning process. Nobody will, how much you have experience you become, if you don't support, for example, if you are not from M&A background. And most of customers, who to whom we talk, we all are M&A guy, right? So
Right.
we know our problem each other very well. But when a third guy comes, if you don't know what customer is saying, then it
Mhm.
could be disaster, right?
Yes.
So we have to groom those people so that it's not only learning about merger solution, but we
Hmm.
have to understand customer problem better, right? So it's a two things: learning about your solution
Hmm.
and understanding customer pain points, what
Hmm.
they are trying to solve in M&A, right?
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
key challenges they have, how to, and then mapping our solution to them. So this is the exercise which 3 to 4 months to 6 months it takes for each employee to really come up to their speed.
Hmm. So it sounds like there's quite the indoctrination process to say.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it
Yes.
really feels like you're looking to ensure that they're not just looking for a job, they're looking for a career. And
Yeah.
there's a sense of belonging in
Yeah.
mergerware. rather than just showing up to fill the seat, which I mean,
Yeah.
I think is really important. What drew you to this strategy as a solution? Because I mean, in sort of transitioning out of 80s economics into 90s leadership, and we've had some time to learn that just getting bodies and seats is not really a good formula for success, but it still seems to be the prevailing sort of movement. What allowed you to have such an insight around the warmth and the inclusion of the culture at MergerWare, rather than just looking to scale as quickly as possible?
Yeah. Yeah. So of course, scaling is one part. Every
Sure.
company want to scale, right?
Of course.
But then if you don't fit the basic first, the
Hmm.
foundation,
Hmm.
then you cannot scale. If foundation is very strong, then you can scale faster, right?
Right.
And then if you are entrepreneur, you need people who are like you, right? Who are not just coming to fill up the seat. And
Hmm.
that is not our requirement as well. Our requirement is somebody who comes, who can be a very independent guy, that I don't have to sit 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. to see what the guy is doing.
Right.
He need to be very independent. He need to have a ownership of some activity,
Hmm.
right? If we do the right hiring, keeping this in mind, explaining to the guy that, look, you are coming here, why you are a right candidate. Once we find that this candidate is right for this position, then we
Hmm.
give this message why we are hiring you, what are the top goals we have,
Hmm.
and how this is aligned within our company goal. And then once you are a best fit, and we give you the authority to deliver, and you are autonomous, right? That is the benefit of working with an entrepreneur directly, that you are also like him,
Hmm.
and where the goal is to how we can upload activity so that it is more distributed, and then it's a cohesive team leading different function and making it happen, right? So like marketing team have a different vision, right?
Yes. Yes.
Sales team have a different vision, product have a different vision, but if you combine everything, then only it forms a company, right?
Right. Right.
So
To unify
every
that.
team have to deliver. Yeah, every team have to deliver.
How do you manage attrition? There's sort of the idea of hiring entrepreneurial people, but not hiring entrepreneurs, where they come in and they have the strength and the resolve to sort of create that unique difference
Mhm.
between who you are and what you're creating, and they branch off, as opposed to what you're describing, which is hiring entrepreneurial minded people who have the self-starting, self-initiative, the grit to sort of grab onto something, and to not accept failure, to see it through to fruition. How do you delineate between the two personalities in your hiring process?
Yeah. So basically, when we do the hiring process,
Hmm.
initial screening, we really qualify whether the person is good fit or not, right?
Gotcha.
So like if somebody is coming from M&A background, right,
Hmm.
coming from a large company, right, where he might be the best guy,
Hmm.
right? He will the best employee. But
Hmm.
what happens when he come to the company, we are smaller in size,
Right.
where lots of things are should be driven by him.
Right.
It will be very misfit sometime, right? Not all the time, but sometimes it is very misfit, because I might be doing a very good job while I was working in a big company because I had all ecosystem.
Hmm.
But when you come and work with entrepreneur or work with a smaller company, what happens? You have to be put everything, forget, start from ground zero, and then you have to scale up, right? So that's why having that mindset, if you don't have, how much skill you have, that might not fit. So
Hmm.
not necessarily it's about person. Person maybe he's a great human being, but then when you have to drive the business, he might not be the fit guy.
Right.
But somebody who have led similar kind of setup he have worked, then he know exactly that if you start working in a smaller company, maybe the process are not very robust. You have to build your process sometime, right? So
Yes.
how agile you are, how you accept that, okay, how you change yourself
Hmm.
depending on situation,
Hmm.
right? That is very important. So that difference we have to find at the beginning while hiring, and then put, people in those baskets. We
Interesting.
need both type of people. We need
The-
both type of people, right? We need
yes.
both type of guys. Some guy who are kind of entrepreneur, you give something, even they don't have a skill, they will learn and they can deliver.
Hmm.
But there are people who have experience, they have work, but they cannot deliver, right? So we have to quickly differentiate, put them in a different basket, and give them responsibility accordingly. So
Right.
hiring always is a critical thing, right, for any company.
Critical and tricky for sure, especially in
Yeah,
today's
very tricky.
market.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, um, if you were to describe yourself in 3 words, what what how do you think you do that?
So I can do that. So basically, I'm a dreamer. So I dream things that
Yes.
I have to get something, but I have lots of patience. So I'm not in hurry that I have to get tomorrow. But I set up some deadline that this is what I have to do. This is the way I have to achieve. But
Mhm.
I know there is no shortcut to achieve that, right? So we have to keep patience. Sometimes what happens, people are not patient, right? They want things early. They need results early. For me, I have patience. The reason could be because I'm very experienced. I have seen all the ups and downs in life, right? In corporate.
Yes.
So I know how to balance.
Right.
So I have to have patience. So I'm patient, dreamer, hard work, and I'm a very good networker. So I know everyone around the world, different nationality. You know, any country I go, I know some people, right?
Interesting.
And every time I go, I meet them.
Spend some time, have
Spend
some
some time.
yeah,
Yeah. It's not just work.
right.
Sometime I go and meet people just like that. We'll have dinner, we have lunch,
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
have breakfast in the morning. So I remember many of such meetings I do. Whenever I travel, I meet those type of people. Maybe they are not related to my business. Sometimes they are in politics, they are news reporters,
Right.
very different type of people. But I keep meeting them, trying to understand what they do, what challenges they have. There is something to learn.
Tell me about it. That's incredible. So relationships are just really important to you, being able to
Yeah,
have
right,
time for those relationships. That's an interesting
right.
point. Are you a quote person? Do you have a guiding quote that you or a mantra that you follow that sort of leads your vision or one that you appreciate today?
Yeah, of course. So I have my personal coach as well. So I take, so see, I always believe that every day is a new learning, right? As I said to you earlier also that every day I learn new things.
Yes.
And this is not going to stop till you are alive, right?
Right.
So we need a guide. We need somebody to, mentor you,
Hmm.
right? And this, how much I do a good job, always I have to try to figure out where I'm not good at, right?
Hmm.
And that I cannot do. That will be done by my coach. So I have a coach who keep guiding me what should be, and it is nothing to do with business.
Hmm.
As a personal human being, right? I have
Right.
something to do.
Yes.
As a human, I have a life. This life span, I have to do meaningful things, right?
Hmm.
That is guided by those people. They guide me exactly what I should do, how I do, what something I have to change. Something I might be doing. I know many things I do which very good. I stop doing now. I'm doing something else because that way I will also learn.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
So
the
this is
ability
the way.
to constantly be curious.
Yeah, right.
What about
Yeah,
a morning routine? You'd mentioned that you wake up, check your emails, and it sort of starts your day. What do you do before picking up your phone? Do you have mindfulness has been such a thing in corporate leadership. Do you journal? Do you have sort of a sequence or a routine that you always do every
yeah,
morning? What does that look like for
yes. So when morning I get up, I see only time in my mobile.
you? Hmm.
First, I don't go and spend time reading all my emails unless until there is a only important mail have to come.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't spend any time looking at my mobile phone. I just put my mobile aside. I'm morning guy, so I sleep early. I get up very early in morning around 5, 4:30 to 5.
Okay.
And I go for jogging. this is my from school time itself, like
Yes.
since I was kid,
Good for you.
and it's continue now. So every day around 4 to 5 kilometers on the average, I go and do jog,
Wow.
and then I start my day.
Okay.
So when I come back, then I see my mobile, I have a coffee, but morning time is for me. It's
Hmm.
my time.
Hmm.
I don't do anything else unless until there is something urgent.
Yeah, of
Right.
course, of course, of course. Holding those boundaries is so critical.
Right.
What and be as vulnerable as you wish on this question. What are you most afraid of, and why? And this can be business, personal, however you want to field that question.
So, so I said you that I'm very fearless leader. I'm not afraid of anything.
Right.
But one thing I always make sure that I should do things which really gives me it's a personal satisfaction. Whatever I do, either I'm doing business or maybe personal or just driving car for pleasure, right? Whatever I do, it should really be very happy. I feel happy. I feel good about doing that,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that is one thing always I feel that I want to continue and I'll be continuing that. I don't like people who are very negative. So I'm very positive guy. So I
Hmm.
don't have anything and anything negative will not come closer to me. Right.
Right. Right.
So that I want to continue. Negative things I wanted to make sure that doesn't come closer to me and do whatever I can do from my effort and make things positive. Not only by my work and my company, but it's personal, people, environment, society, everything.
Hmm. It's interesting. That seems to be a common thread with many of the guests that come and have conversations with me. That quest for joy,
Yeah,
not looking to bring anything down, and be a realist, face
yeah,
the hard things, deal with the hard things, get them out of the way, but really look for joy in life, in
yeah,
the relationships that they have, in the things that they pursue, in the things that they do, and ensuring that the people that are closest to them, their people, their community, ensuring that joy is found within those spaces as well, and that's really meaningful. Are,
yeah,
are
yeah.
you a superhero guy? Do you appreciate, if you were to sort of identify your favorite superhero, what would that be? And it doesn't need to be like a Marvel or a DC kind of thing. It can be whatever. What would you identify as
So, so generally, if you look at my father was the main guy,
interesting?
and the reason is initial aspiration, like somebody in your childhood,
Yes.
you need a good mentor. I think
Yes.
that I realized now at least we are mature. We know who are the good mentors. We can choose. But the initially when you don't know who should be your mentor, at that time your father is the biggest mentor
Mm,
and motivator. Because what happens, you don't find many motivators. You find very good friends, many in fact, but you don't find somebody who is very close to you, who motivates you, who makes sure that you go on the right path, who motivates you to do things bigger. So due to my father, I had all my dreams that, he said that have patience for anything you do. Anything. Even your studies or you're doing personal thing or you want to buy something, you try to have patience and then you get it. Don't fly that you got it. Still be calm, still be on the ground and keep working hard to get next thing.
hmm.
So nothing will come very easily, right? I don't accept anything which comes very easy. It never happened to me, but yeah, that is one of the biggest motivator, and still I find that those things which were within me. So like my father gave me morning jogging routine.
Yes.
He did when I was in class third and fourth, right?
Yes.
Very young. So those type of things which continued till now, right? I'm 40 plus now.
Hmm.
I'm continuing now, right? So those are the initial triggers, the guidance, the motivations. I think they are for lifetime. After that, of course, you can hire coach, you can do everything. But now we are very mature. So any decision we have to take, we have lots of input. We can talk to our coach. We can talk to 10 people. There are lots of ecosystem, right?
Hmm.
Earlier, when we were a kid, that was very early age, right? Whatever is seeded within your brain that time, that remains for life.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that is the reason I said you my father.
Wonderful. I love it. And I think you're right. I think um there's a lot of attention and fingers being pointed around broken homes and not
Yeah,
having fathers around the father figure. Not to suggest that it needs to be a man all the time, but having
yeah,
that foundational strong person that encourages you and challenges you and guides you and leads you at a young age is so important. And again, I'll say
yeah.
it again, it doesn't need to be a man. It can be a woman, it can be
Anyone, yeah, yeah.
aunt, it can be anyone, but
Anyone.
ensuring that your children have that person that they can model and they can look up to, and that is willing to spend time and guide them as well, is so critical. Thank you
Yeah,
for pointing to that. Dharmendra, it's been an absolute pleasure to have a conversation with you today, and I really appreciate
thanks.
your insights and your thoughts around merger and acquisition. It's not a big space. It's a very challenging space, and you're taking on
Yeah,
such a tall element of that post-acquisition weaving of those two communities, those two cultures, into something that's tangential and can continue forward. And that's no small feat. So I applaud you, sir.
yeah,
It's good for you.
yeah.
Anything
Sure.
that you want to share as a sort of closing remark, or something that we didn't get to or cover?
So I think thanks for this opportunity to have this, because it's always good to share our life learning. So most of things I shared, this is very practical. It's not for the interview. It's very practical what we have gone through the life
Precisely.
journey. Starting from very basic to today where we
Yes.
are,
Yes.
and it's next day again something different. So this is a very interesting journey. And if you look at what I would like to share as a closing remark, maybe you know there is no substitute of hard work, dedication, honesty to yourself first. You be honest to yourself first, then the rest of the world will follow you. So
Yes.
I think those are the key things. Keep your focus, have little bit of patience, work hard, achieve, you can achieve things. So I think that is my closing remark to our discussion. That's what I
Excellent.
personally have experienced. That don't be in a hurry to get things. You keep patience. You keep working hard. Be motivated. Keep your people who are very positive around you. That will take you to the next level. And that is
Yes.
what I think most of people do. What I am also doing.
And it's, I mean, wise words. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. And I think, for people in their 20s just coming out of university that want to, hit that $1 billion mark by the time they're 30, patient,
Yeah.
right? Put your head
Right.
down, put in the hard work, put in the time, put in the effort, and the results will come. You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Because now if you look at, when we interview people now and we ask, tell me about yourself, many time after name, they will start that this is my compensation. Can you give this much?
Right.
They don't ask what role they have to do, what they want to do. In our time, it was very different, right? When you go
Yes.
for interview, we prepare very well,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
we go for interview, very good presentation. And then our question will never be how much you are going to pay for my job first. It will be
Mm.
more of what I will do. I'll ask related questions. What will be the opportunity for me to learn? So things have changed, right? Things
Yeah.
have changed.
Perspective and priority that
Yeah, yeah,
definitely need to sort of have that pendulum swing back, right? So
right.
absolutely great. Well, thank you. It has been a pleasure, and
Thanks.
wonderful to chat. I'll make sure that in the show notes we include your socials, and we're able to get in touch if anyone
Sure.
within our community can use your services. And I look
Sure.
forward to connecting with you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.